I gotta tell you, junky cars are very entertaining. I've had several in my lifetime, and we're getting to the point my wife's car is getting to be a little bit older, and it's having some problems. The key fob is not working now, and something just happened with her door the other day. We were a good ways from home, and she couldn't get her driver's side door to shut.
Oh.
So to get home, we had to drive down I-95 with her with one hand on the wheel and the other one holding the door shut.
Oh, no.
Oh, just crazy. And now she finally got it to shut, but you can't open it because you can't get it to shut properly again. So you have to either climb out the window or you have to climb out the passenger side of the car now.
Yeah, I had a car like that too. You have to get in Dukes of Hazzard style.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was a car I had. It was the muffler thingy was hung on with a coat hanger, and there was a gas leak in there. And if you drove over a puddle, water would shoot out to the floor of the driver's section.
Yeah.
Seems safe.
It leaked gas so bad, me and my buddy drove to Gainesville from Broward. We were so high and couldn't figure out why we were all loopy and weird and bizarre. I was clean cut back then, so I could really tell something was in my system.
You'd been huffing.
I was huffing for 4.5 hours, and I didn't like the way it felt.
I want off this ride.
I once had a car that didn't have any air conditioning when I first got to South Florida, and so if I wanted to cool down, I had to roll down my windows and then find a sprinkler and drive into it. Oh, it was so refreshing.
Was that the car, the Amigo?
Yeah.
That when you came to a red light, it would just start revving itself?
Yeah.
People around him thought he wanted to race.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I would have to look over, and of course I get here to the land of super fast cars. You know, I'm at a stoplight right next to a Maserati, and I'm revving, and the guy's looking at me like, really? He's like, you think you're going to take my Maserati? I'm like, no, it's just a car too. It's yeah. And they would blow right out through when they got a green light, and there I am sitting there. I'm like, told you.
We had one car, and I was amazed when this happened. You would pour, if it wouldn't start, you would open up the hood of the car and pour Mountain Dew on it, and then the car would start up immediately.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Couldn't believe it, Virginia. That's a real thing.
Yeah,
Your car was like you. It loved the dew.
It did.
It
worked.
That's a little hack to get it going. It's I guess if there's corrosion on your battery, it can kind of help get that spark and the connection to get it started.
I got you the biggest argument with my little sister. She goes, well, just watch. This Mountain Dew will start your car. I go, oh, whatever. You're messing with me. Started the car right up.
Dang.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. It's kind of funny when you have like all these different hacks just to get your car to work properly.
I know.
So I was asking, what quirky car things do you have going on? Stephanie said, I had a Chevy Citation that I bought from my dad's coworker when I was in high school. It ran well at first, but then the transmission wouldn't go in reverse, so I had to park in places where I only had to pull forward to leave.
It becomes tricky.
Marion said, my first car used to overheat so easily, I would have to drive with the heat on high, even when it was 100 degrees outside.
Oh.
Denny's old station wagon, he had about, I think, a 3-mile radius, and then if it was past 3 miles, he'd have to pull into a parking lot, let it cool down, and then drive it again.
Oh,
man.
man.
It was such a pain.
Wow, that will add some time to your commute.
Yeah.
Takes him 2 weeks to get to Broward.
I remember back in the day, my mom's husband, Frank, he was a mechanic. And so he took the steering wheel, the perfectly good steering wheel, off of the Mustang that I was driving, and he replaced it with this racing wheel. But when he did, he didn't rewire everything back properly. So if I wanted to honk the horn, I had to put these two wires together and connect them to go beep, beep.
Yeah, the old wire and the old horn. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Rachel said our son had a Chevy S10, and you'd have to pull the fuse for the wipers because they wouldn't turn off otherwise. So if you want the wipers on, you had to put the fuse in, and if you wanted to turn them off, you had to take it out.
That's tricky.
Looking back, man, we always had the best snacks, but man, we had some really crappy cars. I mean, terrible cars growing up as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Laura said that I'd have to jiggle the gear shift whenever I wanted to put it in a different gear. You had to kind of like work it and finesse it. Tamika said years ago I had a Saturn. The keys would just randomly fall out of the ignition while the car was on. and it would stay on.
That's a flaw.
Yes. Rosalind said, I used to have a car that I had to take a flashlight just to see the dashboard at night to see how fast I was going. Nothing would light up. And Jackie just changed the starter in her car. She said for about a year, I was having to tap on the starter with a hammer in order to get it to start.
And if you're having a bad day already,
yeah,
and you have to do that, let's say you just want to get home, you want to eat, maybe you have poopy cramps, you just want to get in that car and go, but now you're hitting something with a hammer, that could really break you.
It really could.
Patty said she bought a Volkswagen Rabbit that only had a second and third gear. So if you wanted to back up, you had to stick your foot out of the car and push it.
Oh, she did everything in her power to always be in a situation where she did not have to back up.
And then she said, and every time I made a left turn, the horn would honk.
That's amazing.